welcome back. And we're moving into our final segment for today, where we get to find out all the behind the scenes fun and the hard work that went into producing Belize's first sitcom called Livin Mi Life. We have with us the script writer for the show, Kim Vasquez, and we have one of the actors who plays Harry. I believe you're one of the lead actors in the sitcom, Albert Pate. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, ladies. Good morning.
This is a very highly anticipated show. I gotta say that much. We have spoken quite a bit, and the last time you were here, of the success of No Matter What, and how up until this day people still asked about it, and now you're back with a new type of show. Kim, tell us first of all how you got roped into this project, because it is a lot of work to be able to write a script for a sitcom.
Yes. Ever since No Matter What, the desire to do something had always been there. You know, the time was passing, and I just felt that the time was right.
Yeah.
We needed to act, and I met with Denvor, and he had been thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
When we met, that was the first thing we realized, that we were both feeling this urge to get back into entertainment and into production.
Yeah.
I wanted to try my hand with a sitcom. I like a challenge. And I decided that even before I had approached him, I had already been bouncing these characters around in my head. I had come up with a storyline. I pitched it to him as a producer, and he liked it.
Yeah.
And he mentioned that he had already been in discussion with Steve to have Steve Berry involved in an upcoming a project. And that's where it went from there. We went full speed ahead.
Now, explain to us what's the difference with a sitcom versus what No Matter What was?
Yes. No Matter What was a family drama.
Okay.
The structure, the format is different. It was an hour long, and that allows for that to unfold, because when you're dealing with a drama, which tends to be more serious, it tends to be more dialogue heavy, almost like a play in a way. You need a longer format, and so that was 45 minutes to an hour long. With a sitcom now, it tends to have a faster pace. The storylines tend to be concise, contained within an episode.
Okay.
The characters do change, but they change slowly, right? They evolve slowly over time. And so they will each have their background, they will each have their conflict, but you will see them take on different things in different episodes, but more or less they remain the same. They evolve very slowly, whereas No Matter What was almost sometimes like a soap opera, where you saw that it was constantly. It would end on a cliffhanger, and you would want to tune in. We feel like the anticipation will be no less with this one, because you'll be wanting to see what these characters get up to next.
It's kind of like Young and the Restless, and then The Big Bang Theory.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
See, I was going old school. I was like Days of Our Lives versus like Full House or something. I don't know. But yeah, now that you've explained it, I can clearly see the difference.
Yes.
Now let's talk to Albert about how you decided to get on board with this project.
Well, I've always done acting before, but I've mainly focused on stage acting.
Okay.
And theater and plays and so forth. And so when I saw that there was an audition here for the new sitcom, I auditioned for it. And I got the part as Harry, and it just went from there.
Yeah.
Tell us about how you relate to Harry, and tell us a little bit about Harry.
Harry. Well, Harry's life revolves around his mom, Myrtle, as you'll see in the show. And growing up with his mom, because his father passed early, she instilled certain values and traits in Harry. And so he struggles with these traits and how to carry himself as Myrtle's son, with all these external influences coming from his friends and neighbors and so forth.
Yeah.
And so he has a conflict within himself, but he evolves from there.
I know that a lot of actors talk about how they have to kind of prepare themselves by, like, if they're going to play a cop on TV, they go and visit a precinct or whatever. How did you prepare yourself to take on this role? Because I'm sure that there are some things that you relate to with Harry and some things that you absolutely don't. So how did you prepare?
Right. Well, the first thing is Harry works at an insurance company.
Okay.
And I work at an insurance company.
I was just going to ask
How
you, what's your day
coincidental.
job? Yeah.
Right. I work at an insurance company, and so it's kind of easy to play Harry working at an insurance company.
Okay.
Harry's a more quiet, subdued person with very Christian values. You know, he's looking for this perfect wife, a person to wife, and it's not much. It doesn't deviate much from who I am as a person. Although I'm a more lively person, that's my personality. But being Harry, it's a bit okay.
Well, you know, from this point forward, when people meet you, they'll assume you're like Harry.
And that's your name. You don't have
Yes,
Albert, it's
yes,
gone. Your name is
yes,
Harry
right.
now.
It was actually casting magic
Yeah.
with Harry, you know, and it's always, that's like the magic for me, you know, to see the way an actor can embody really what you have in your mind and what you're trying to develop creatively.
Right.
And I think that he's doing an excellent job. All the actors really, you know, we have a
Right.
wonderful cast.
You know, Kim, that is such a challenge sometimes. You know, as a creative person, you come up with something that you want to be able to share, but then you entrust it with actors and cameramen and editors.
Sure.
And looking at what the production team first had in mind, how much do you feel that you've been able to meet your target with Livin Mi Life?
The first thing that you have to be aware of when you come into filmmaking, I think, is to recognize and accept early on that it is a collaborative effort.
Yeah.
And you have to allow everybody to play their creative roles.
Yeah.
From the producer to the director to the actors. And so you have to be able to allow that flexibility to allow the true potential to come out, right? And I think I got over that a long time ago. You are always close to your work, right? And it's like giving birth to a child. You know, each one of these characters is special, and you know, when you come up with storylines, sometimes you get really involved in the process, you get close to the story. For me, I think it's a good relationship I have with Denvor, with 13 Productions. I learned a lot over the years working on No Matter What. And even after No Matter What, you know, I continued writing, I continued to hone my skills. And so I think I'm at a place where, you know, I'm able to put it into the hands of a good producer and a good director. But I do like to stay involved.
Closely
you know,
involved,
right?
yeah. Of course, like you said, it's your baby. Now I have to ask you, because this is one of the things that I'm very interested in. When you talk comedy, what kind of comedy are we talking about?
Yes, because some people, I think,
we're kind of accustomed to one
yes,
style in Belize.
we are, and I purposely wanted to try something different.
Yeah.
We are accustomed to slapstick, which is tends to be very Caribbean, right?
Yeah.
And
Very Oliver.
right? The
Yeah.
characters are over the top, right?
Yeah.
But I was more interested in portraying everyday characters in everyday scenarios and finding what was comedic in those scenarios. So the comedy is a little bit different. It's not on the nose, right? You know, the jokes are there, you laugh, and we balance it. What we do have that one Oliver type character in there who is a character called Tyrone, who comes in there to fill that. Because we know we like to have that. We like to have a balance.
Yeah.
But no, it's not that slapstick kind of, you know, wild gags and everything. But it doesn't take away from the humor.
And nothing is wrong with that. I mean,
No.
I enjoy it.
Yes.
It's just to ask if we'd have a show.
Oh, no. It's
centered
definitely
around
not
that.
to say that that form of comedy is less or not.
Yeah.
It's just that we decided to go a different route.
Now, drama or acting, I should say, it's very interesting, because to do something serious is almost a bit easier than trying to be funny on camera. Delivering jokes is hard. It's like trying to retell a story and it just falls flat. Yes. How did you manage, especially since it's a different style from the theater that you normally do on stage?
Right. Well, it takes the energy from the other characters.
Yeah.
That's the first thing, you know, because we just filmed a scene this weekend.
Yeah.
And we had one of the characters. She has a funny laugh. You know, so when she laughs, we automatically laugh on her laugh and what the joke was.
Yeah.
And so it's a collaborative effort between the characters and how how they portray their characters.
How difficult is it memorizing scripts?
That's a bit of a trouble sometimes, you know, when you have a lot on your mind. But embodying your character makes it easier because you know what Harry would think or what Harry would do in a certain situation.
And it also helps with the comedic, you know, value. Because when you know what you're supposed to say, you know how to intonate and how to like change your face and your body and things like that.
So reading a script and learning it is one thing, but as you go along, it gets easier as an actor.
And how much are you allowed to ad-lib in the production part?
Well, I love to thank the producer and the writer here and the director because they allow you to, if you have a question about something or you'd like to add something
Would
to a line.
my character see this?
Yes, right. Just you're free enough to just mention it to them, and we try to develop your thought and your ideas. Yes.
I mean, this is a small team versus what would really be behind the scenes of something of this magnitude. And what's it like as the group coming together with one common mission to be able to create great local programming? And you have actors of different experience in the show as well.
Yes. That contributes a lot because we have, for example, we have the older character, which is Myrtle, for example.
Your mom.
She plays my mom.
Yeah.
You know, so she comes.
That's
with
Charmaine Garcia.
It's Charmaine Garcia.
I know
She's-
she'd like to be called older, but you'll find out later. Yeah.
But yes, she brings her experience. You know, and every single person brings their experience to the table, and when that meshes on set, it's just crazy. You know, it's fun working and fun when you see the end product.
Does it ever get too funny that you can't deliver your lines? Like, you know, when you catch the giggles and you just can't progress?
It has, you know, we've had, and that just takes us all into the night for shooting. But it has become fun at certain times that we need to take a break back and just calm down.
You can tell us a little bit about the whole shooting process, because I know that sometimes you have to do 5 takes, 10 takes, 20 takes. So tell us about how that is for the team and the people behind the camera.
Well, for me, like I said, I have gotten to the point where I try not to be around when that is happening, right? I like to see the way, I like to come back and see a cut, right? That for me, I find more helpful.
Yeah.
If I can offer my feedback in that way, right? I believe that once I have written the script and once I have had the ability to dialogue with the director, they go off and they do their thing, right? They create their magic, and then I would look at a cut, right? So I think the person that would more be able to respond to that would be Albert.
Right. Well, to start off, Denvor, as a producer, he's a perfectionist.
Yes.
So he wants the best, and we want the best as well, and so we share in that goal. And so if we need to do a take 10 times, we'll do that take 10 times, right? And it's over and over and over. And as an actor, what you'll see is that as you think it's becoming tiresome, but the more you do it, the more you get into that character.
Yeah.
The more you show that facial emotions, the more you embody your character. And so as much as it takes, we get that done.
Yeah, and I was just telling him before we came on, I said, you will find that it will get easier.
Right.
With each episode, as you internalize the character more and you get familiar with each other and the chemistry develops, you will find that the process gets
Quicker.
quicker and
As you
easier.
become Harry.
Yes, as he becomes.
Yes.
Tell us about a scene, shooting one of the scenes, and one of your favorite memories.
Okay. Well, we have an intimate
We're getting
scene.
a spoiler, so I didn't ask if we had clearance for it, but you go ahead.
No. There's an intimate scene on the show with Harry, and it's
What do you mean intimate? You're a Christian boy.
I am a Christian boy, and that's the reason that those internal influences tend to make me deviate from my mother's guidance. And so it's a clash. That's why it says there's an internal conflict within Harry. But there is an intimate scene where Harry gets a bit intimate on set. And I'll be walking on the street, you know, people will be pulling me aside and say, "Are you the guy holding up that girl's leg?" Or, you know, just blurt these things out because there's a clip on Facebook about it.
Oh.
And so that's a very memorable scene for me.
So you had real kissing scenes?
Well, we have to wait to see. You know?
Ooh.
Right?
You know, the interesting thing about the character Harry is that, you know, he's a mommy's boy, and that has the pros and the cons for him, right? And most of what develops within each episode, within the conflict, is him trying to liberate himself mentally and physically from his mom, right? He wants to move out and be on his own, and he also needs to mentally escape from her, and she fights that every which way possible.
Sorry, go ahead.
It was so interesting because I'm addicted to Netflix, and it reminds me of a lot of the series that they come up with on the show. So I wanted to find out what your inspiration was, if you had any, and also what are some of your favorite shows that you drawn to use as material.
Definitely, I was inspired by Netflix. I think we are moving away from that
traditional
sitcom, and it makes sense for Belize. We don't have that studio audience. And if you look at some of the sitcoms on Netflix, most of them have done away with the laugh track. So you either get the jokes or you don't get it. And honestly, there are some clips on YouTube where you can go look at traditional episode sitcoms without the laugh track. They've edited out, and it's not funny. It's not that funny. And so I think viewers, on a whole, just because of the way everything is just changing, the way we're interacting with media, we need a more engaging format. And so I think I was definitely inspired by the more modern sitcoms. I also, like I said, I wanted to come from a perspective where there would be characters that younger viewers could relate to.
Well, I wanted to ask that. How much of this do you feel will be reflective of an everyday Belizean life?
Yes. I think it's very, very reflective. Too often, sometimes I think, like I said, I wanted to just turn everything on its head. Too often when we reach for comedy in Belize, we tend to reach for either the very, very grassroots, and barefoot and the head tie. That's okay, that's great. We should embrace that. Right, the balloon, right.
There's so much more.
But to be honest, we have a wide population of young professionals, young 20-somethings, 30-somethings.
Millennials.
Millennials,
that are far more exposed.
I think I really was appealing to the millennials that are out there trying to make a life for themselves in Belize. We all know what our socioeconomic situation is. And there is no reason why we can't find humor in these situations. But at the same time, I think you will look at these characters and many people will identify with them. You will see yourself as the young professional. We all struggle with relationship issues, issues with our parents, mother issues,
mommy boys,
issues with your boss, issues in the workplace. You know, we tend to have our own professional culture in our workplaces here in Belize.
Definitely.
Very, very different. If you were to go out and work, maybe in the US, in Europe, you would find that it's a major, major change to function in a professional setting there than from what we have in Belize. And so I do tend to exploit that to a certain extent. You see that he has quite an interesting relationship with his boss.
I was just going to say, your boss is a veteran actor, of course, Ernesto Vasquez, who can say the funniest thing with the most serious face. It's amazing.
Exactly.
What was that like for you? I know you share stage for Rotary Pays and whatnot sometimes.
Working with
Ernesto.
Okay. Well, the scene that we did was a brief scene. It wasn't a long.
Well, we've only seen that one.
So, but the clip that you saw. But working with him was easier because he's a veteran, like you mentioned. And he does say the funniest stuff with a straight face, which gets the giggles out of millions. So that works. So working with him was fine.
So there was like a relationship where you learn from other actors and help other actors.
It's always that with an actor. Well, personally, that's how it is for me. You work with people and you learn from them.
What are some of the things that you feel your friends will identify with about what the Livin Mi Life represents?
Like Miss Kim mentioned, it's totally relatable. The characters are totally relatable. And being Harry and interacting with his best friend, who is Tyrone, you know, I guess my friends or those people who know me would tend to say, but you're a bit more of a Tyrone, right? And that's when I tell them, well, you need to watch the show to see how I evolve into Harry and how Harry interacts with Tyrone.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what I would mention to them.
I think that's really great, especially to appeal to millennials, because I think I'm thinking about the shows that I watch right now, and I very much so relate to the characters. Like there's this show on Netflix called Chewing Gum, and the character Tracy is very much so me. I'm awkward and strange, and that's so cool. It's good to have something that you could, that's local, that's local here in Belize. I think that's amazing.
I think that was what I took on as a challenge.
Yeah.
And I made sure that I was able to strike a balance by having the characters like Myrtle in there, like Harry's boss in there, to give that balance. But you know, I think it's time that, you know, young professionals in Belize take a little bit of focus, you know, because like I said, they are such a big part of the population, right? And we tend to take young professionals for granted, right?
And they're very much in tune with North American culture versus what we are used to with or no matter what and Oliver and whatnot. I want to ask you about if there's any, what are your thoughts in terms of being able to manage the expectations from people? Because, you know, local programming in this country is hard. Getting advertisers, getting people, getting talent, it's difficult. But naturally, people want to see themselves. They want to see people who they know, they look like, who represent them, represent their culture on TV. And so there's a lot of expectations.
Yes, the expectations is very, very high, especially coming from 13 Productions. Wow, talk about pressure. You know what I mean? Every time you run into somebody and that's the first thing they say, well, we can't wait for Livin Mi Life because, you know, and so yes, the bar is there for us. I would like to say, first of all, that we really, really have to give credit to 13 Productions.
Absolutely.
Denvor for going out on a limb, for taking this on. It is a huge risk and it is a huge challenge.
And a lot of work.
And a lot of work, right. We also have to give credit to our sponsors. I know he's going to kill me, but I can't remember the
well, we have,
okay,
we
have a list, yes. Okay, that's what the producer was sliding in there, Black Orchid, Pink Boutique, Atlantic Bank, Brothers, Habet, Tour, Belize, Auto Rental, Scotia Bank, It Store, Habet and Habet, the University of the West Indies Open Campus, BTL, Quick Stop, Atlantic Insurance, and more to come, hopefully.
Definitely.
But we definitely have to acknowledge that support from the business community because it's not possible. It doesn't happen for free. It doesn't.
Yeah, for sure.
Every time I'm on a show or speaking to the media, I always remind everybody we don't do this full time. We all have our day jobs. We all have families, babies on the way.
And passions don't feed you or your family.
Right.
They fulfill you. But life is real.
Need to ask for the support. And make a genuine appeal that you, when you look at the sitcom, that you bear in mind that it is a work in progress, that you bear in mind all of these factose.
That it is not a millionaire budget.
Right, it's not a millionaire budget. We don't have an actors guild. We don't have, you know, a lot of production assistants on set. We don't have a wardrobe person. We don't have those things. But we have a good story, and we have a good cast, we have a good director, we have good actors, and so bear with us. It's a work in progress, but we are putting everything that we have into it.
Tell us a little bit about the clinical side. So, like, how many episodes you have, how often it's going to show, where it's going to be available on. Things like
I think we have 4 episodes in the can.
Okay.
We're looking to round off the season with 2 more. I have to credit Denvor for being adamant that we had some in the can, right? And we learned from our past experiences with this, right? We hope that we will get the support and that it will be popular and that we will come back for a second season. Definitely, we have more stories that we want to produce. We have had some changes with the cast, so at this early stage, I think it's still very organic. We have a lot of good ideas, and we have an idea of where we would want to see the show go.
And do you need more writers? Do you need more people to volunteer?
We need it all. What we need most of all, I think, is actors.
Yeah.
We need more people to express that desire, and it doesn't take much. Just make contact with 13 Productions. Just pick up the phone and call or send an email, and an audition visit. Just walk in, just drop in. Right, it's right on Albert Street. Right. Can't miss it. There's a sign. Just drop in and express your interest, because each episode will require extras. There's always going to be new characters coming in and coming out, and so we need more actors. Yeah,
I'd agree. Yeah.
And what does it take from you? I mean, I think that's part of the concern. One, how much time you have to have some talent to be on camera, and what is the time management like for you?
Well, we mostly shoot on the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays, and sometimes during the week. But it takes a lot of drive and focus. You know, what I love to tell people is they see the end product. They see the show when it's already done, filmed, whatever, edited, but it takes a lot of time and a lot of drive, inner drive, to want to stay on set and shoot the entire day. And it takes stamina.
And bring energy for every
take. Right, because, yes, energy for every take, because if you have this hype scene, and you need to be a hype person there, and you have 10 takes, you better be hyped for 10 takes.
Yes.
Right.
And energy for camera is a lot different.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
I think
you
that's
should
the
know.
most important thing, is that you are willing to be committed to the project.
Yeah.
So many people will tell you they want to be involved. Gal, put me in a one of your thing.
Yeah.
But then when you really find out that you have to give up your weekends and your after hours time, then that's where I think some people run into trouble.
And then your
It's like,
daughter
you know, there's
calls.
work involved in
Yes.
this, by the way.
Right.
But you know, I mean, despite all the challenges, I think everybody's happy to have a new local production available for them to be able to view and enjoy and talk about and be all over social media with their constructive, hopefully, and positive comments. And you know, how excited are you guys for this to finally premiere?
We're extremely, well, personally, I'm extremely excited.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work we put in there, and for the episodes that we've filmed already, and so I'm just extremely ecstatic over it.
Okay, and where can people find out more information online? Just your social media details.
We are trying to get going with the social media. There is a Facebook page, Livin Mi Life, on Facebook. You can look for more things to come with the Facebook page. We're going to be ramping up the social media presence this month as we move closer to the premiere. Yes.
Okay, and it will premiere on
The 31st.
the 31st of July.
Okay.
It'll be playing on many stations, all the TV stations, in fact. But for our Channel 5 viewers, it'll be Wednesdays at 9 p.m. and Saturdays at 7 p.m. So you have it right up there on the screen. Mark down the date, and it officially premieres on the 31st. Congratulations on what I know was a lot of hard work in getting to this point, and best of luck in securing your sponsors, your actors, and everything else necessary to be able to keep it going.
Yeah, thank you.
All right?
Thank you.
All right. We're going to go ahead and take that final break now. When we come back, we'll have our wrap-up, so stay tuned.